Why don't we start out today's podcast with a quotable quote from Lenin? The best way to control the opposition is to lead it ourselves, unquote. Good way to start out Wednesday, the 25th of May, 2022. Got a lot of stuff done yesterday outside. The weather sure is bizarre. That's all I'm going to say about the weather. No, people, that was not John Lennon of the Beatles. That was Vladimir Lenin. And who was he? Inquiring minds want to know. The first and founding head of the new Soviet Union back in 1917. He's way up the family tree of our good friend Murray. He headed up the beginning, which would lead to over 60 million dead. And here's kind of an oddity. Very few Hollywood movies deal with the history of those years of the former Soviet Union and a whole of the more. We've talked about that here before. And very few history books in college and high schools deal with the subject. Not much covered. Wonder why that could be. I just don't know. All right, people. Let's see where we're going. I find myself spending less and less time on GulfAlphaBravo.com. And one of the main reasons is the Trump tards, the QAnons, and the Patriots in general are riding the red wave to sweep the House and Senate. You know, clean House, Senate too. Come November midterm elections. Yep. They're going to vote harder this time and return both houses into Republican strongholds. See you later, Democrats. We're going back to 2017, people, when both houses were in Republican control and we had a Republican president, the Donald. Well, how did that work out? These are the same groups on GulfAlphaBravo.com that nonstop piss and moan about the 2020 selections that gave Joe Biden imposter-in-chief status. The stolen selections, that is. Yet oddly, by voting harder this November, miracles will happen, or so they believe and advocate. And that's pretty strange to me. And all of this in spite of China's alleged invasion plans. You know, D-Day, Malibu. I covered in the last few podcasts. The China invasion? If it happens, and time will tell, people, is scheduled to occur between now and November. Yep, before the midterm elections. Another oddity. Trying to discuss this and pointing out Trump doesn't walk on water gets you replies like, and here's a quote, people, "Fuck off, commie," unquote. And then you get blocked. How cool is that? Or, "You'd rather wanted Hillary." No. Would really give me two choices, cancer or leprosy. No. How about neither of either? How about someone who really is America first in actions, not just talking the talk? And nowhere in true American first will you ever hear, "We proudly stand with and for Murray's favorite nation in the Mideast." Yeah, you know which that one is. Okay, and also, with the World Economic Forum meeting this week in Davos, Switzerland, covered in yesterday's podcast, you know, Herr Klaus Schwab, Herr Klaus Enel Schwab. Here's an interesting group of individuals. I want to read them to you. Republican Congressman Daniel Crenshaw. You know that guy? Yeah, he wears a black eye patch. He's the pirate posing as a conservative Republican, representing Texas, I think, 2nd District. You have Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat. Used to be a congresswoman from Hawaii, honorably serving in the Army Reserve as an Army Major. She spoke against the Ukraine current thing, yet supports Joe Biden. And she was called a traitor by that walking piece of shit rhino, Mitt Romney, who just might be a bigger commie, bigger than comedian Jimmy Dore. Alexander Soros. You ever heard of him? Why, he's none other than the fruit of the loins of George Soros. Yeah, George Soros' son. Mark Zuckerberg? What do we need to say about him? David D. Rothschild. Rothschild House of Banking, people. Megan What's-Her-Face. That pink-haired former Subway sandwich chain spokes, whatever the fuck that thing is. And, of course, let's not forget Ivanka Trump. Now, what do you think these guys have in common? Well, it just turns out, you guys ever heard of the Forum of Young Global Leaders? It happens to be Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, created the Forum of Young Global Leaders in 2004 to help the world meet increasingly complex and interdependent problems. Yeah, that's the one. All these people are members, past or former or current members of the Young Global Leaders. Remember yesterday's podcast? Infiltration, rats invasion, 500 cities, 15,000 operatives. Yeah, well, here's 6 of them. Strange, man. Birds of a feather do flock together, and so do pigs and swine. Okay, I want to play you something, because you want to vote harder. Big things are going to happen come November. Well, here's an interview with Republican Dan Crenshaw. Pay attention, people. Remember now, he's a member. He knows Herr Klaus Schwab personally, but check this out.
Sort of danced around the topic of the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset. We talked about a little about the COVID conspiracy to shut everything down. We got the border issue at hand.
Yeah.
Where do you see the Great Reset right now, and where's it going over the next 4 to 6 years?
I don't know if I danced around it. I just don't know anything about it.
I mean, there are a lot of subjects that touch the Great Reset, or at least the philosophy.
This lying fucker, a former U.S. Navy SEAL officer, doesn't know anything about the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, the Great Reset.
Yeah, I just don't know much about it.
Okay.
Like, and I don't care either. I think we're obsessing over.
He doesn't care that the WEF, World Economic Forum, Herr Klaus Schwab, seeks to control our food, energy, healthcare systems, and eliminate our sovereignty. Yeah, don't forget, WHO votes today, people.
In on the right a little bit. And look, I have been to the website and I saw, this is why people are saying that, because I did look into that. Okay, they say something about a Great Reset. I don't look into it any more than that. Look, it's a bunch of people. It's an organization that has no real power. I mean, yeah, look, there's always going to be people that maybe. I think what they mean by Great Reset is the same thing the Democrats are always saying.
All right, you need to hear any more of this? So you're going to vote harder this November. Replace the demon rats with the Republicans. And I'm not picking on Dan Crenshaw. Your choices, people, are cancer or leprosy. End of story. Republicans and Democrats are 2 wings of the same bird. And I don't mean a bald eagle, America's symbol of heritage. No, I mean 2 wings of the same Masonic bird, the phoenix. What did Vladimir Lenin say? The best way to control the opposition is to lead it ourselves. They got their bases covered, people. So vote harder, but they control the opposition also. Now, but Dave, if China invades or Russia nukes us, won't America's movers and shakers, the ones, the millionaire and billionaire classes, fall victims to the carnage also? Hell no, people. Those movers and shakers that have not yet left the country, and many have, they're moving into smaller islands, smaller, not too often heard of countries. Those that haven't left and fled the country will move underground to a vast network of underground cities and DUMBs. You know what DUMBs were? Deep underground military bases. Not everybody goes down to level 7. I hear level 2, 3, and 4 can be, and 1 can be quite nice. Now, they are connected by high-speed magnetic rail systems that can take you from LA, California to New York City in about an hour. Have you forgotten? I think we covered this subject before, but let me jog your memories. Yeah, I got a lot of things going on. Do you remember Subtropolis Business Complex, Kansas? Known as the world's largest underground business complex is the Subtropolis Business Complex located in Kansas City. Well, it's an artificial cave about 55 million square feet and 160 feet beneath the surface with a temperature that maintains between 65 and 70 degrees. Oh, God, I wish Willow City could brag about that. Businesses that are operating there are several store documents, e-commerce, food distribution, retail manufacturing. About 1,600 people get access here daily for business operations. And I'll just add because this came from thetravel.com. I'll just add, it's not a conspiracy website. The 1,600 people serve the needs of the rich and famous. So there you go. So you might have forgot about that. That's just one of many. What about us? Well, we're going to remain topside. We will take the brunt of the battle, people. For after all, are we not the new class of useless humans we talked about yesterday? Habari, ring any bells? Are we not the useless eaters? And they want us dead. I don't know why you can't accept that and get it through your head. All right, people. Hope the weather is cooperative, because I still haven't finished up my outside details. And you know what? I got stuff to do.